Hi, Marcia.
How are you?
All right, I'm just
Kicking.
Justin, did you talk to Dolly?
2021, I think it's gonna kick.
Did, yeah.
Okay, okay.
I don't want it to. I'm just gonna close
Yeah,
my
she
eyes
told
and
me
ignore
to.
it all, right?
I know it, that's what
I'm kind of in that spot.
Okay.
I'm doing some house cleaning, you know?
You can go whenever
I
you're
do
ready.
mine.
Okay, well, it sounds like we've got a full slate of people here, so let's go ahead and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
For which it stands, one nation,
One nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Oh my God, I'm all this tonight. My brain's not working. Just trying to cross myself.
Calling to order the meeting, January 11th, 2021. Roll call, Tim,
Present.
Annie,
Yes, I'm here.
Brett,
Who just walked in?
Not
Negative.
much.
No, Brett.
okay, I thought I heard him in there earlier. Okay. And Brad.
No, Brad.
Okay. And for the agenda, I'd recommend striking Prairie Wind Apartments executive session for attorney-client privilege, just because there's no information to present. But I'll entertain a motion for adopting the agenda.
I will move to that with that strike.
My second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Negative.
All in favor?
Tim, yes.
Annie, yes. Let's not use that phone thing, huh?
No one else? Motion carries. Me for also. Motion to approve the minutes of December 28th.
I move to approve the minutes.
I second. I wasn't there, but.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Tim, yes.
Yes.
Myself, yes. All right, appropriation ordinance 1482.
I move to approve.
I didn't even look at it, sorry. My second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Tim,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
both yes. Motion passes. Department reports.
So
Only.
Mike was out sick today, sorry. And
Okay.
yeah. As far as me just getting year-end done, working on new rates for the water districts, I sent all my stuff to April to go ahead and start the audit, which they will be here. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Just kind of getting everything wrapped up from the year. Let me know.
I skipped over public concerns or comments. Do we have anybody that wanted?
Oh, geez, sorry.
I didn't even, nope, sorry. Is there any public concerns or comments?
No.
No.
Stephanie, you want me to?
And then, yeah, sorry, I should have added that to the agenda. I forgot again. Sally Davis is in here and I think she was wanting to talk about animal control. Here before Annie on the park stuff.
You go ahead. Mine's a little longer tonight.
She's a tough act to follow.
Yes. We've had an issue come up about the geese that's in the city. I went and talked to them. My observing of them, they're not that loud, any louder than a dog barking.
Okay.
They do have them housed properly after their fire, so it's all good. But my concern, the ordinance says that we can't have those in here, but it's gonna start a fire with every other livestock that's in the city limits. I showed you the message I got. So we're gonna have to probably talk to Todd if we're gonna try to get these out of there, and then I'm gonna have to serve papers to everybody else that's got these animals in other livestock besides the 8 chicken, 8 hens in the city limits to get them out. I have been told that this person has been okayed to have them. So, I mean, it's basically, I think it's gonna have to turn down to what you guys want us to do, the council. Because it, you know, the city ordinance says they have to go. She's already threatened that they ain't going.
I was gonna say, she's
She's
gonna
gonna
put up a
multiply.
fight.
How many does she have?
The last time I seen, there was only about 5 or 6.
I don't know that that's a relevant point.
Well, I just wanted to know, you know, it is a big deal if there's like 20 geese.
Well, sure.
What's your opinion? I mean,
Just to note, everybody, I'm on the line here, it's Todd.
hi Todd.
I cannot hear the darn thing.
Oh, shoot.
Is this on?
You can come up here and sit if
I
you
can
want,
come up.
Sally.
This isn't even on.
Well, I don't know how that-
It kind of also disguises my voice. Okay, Todd, we had an issue come up with the geese in town. Them being a nuisance. I've gone and checked it out, and to me, they really weren't a nuisance. They didn't honk until about 5 minutes after I've been there. But according to our ordinance, they can't have them. It's already started a fire with her about the other livestock in town. So if we're gonna enforce her to get rid of those geese, we're gonna have to enforce everybody else that has anything besides the 8 chickens that they're allowed.
Well, let's be clear about this. I mean, I understand people getting upset about it, but the fact of the matter is, if somebody else is violating an ordinance, doesn't excuse your violation. I mean, there is no precedent being set. That because other people are doing it, you get to do it. I mean, if a police officer stops you for speeding, does not excuse you. So they've got to comply. And so I don't have any problem with proceeding against somebody who's maintaining both, an animal that is allowed animals under the code, and then second of all, if there actually are a nuisance, I mean a noise nuisance, then that's another thing entirely. So they've got a double problem. So I'm just going to say that absent some other extenuating circumstance, I would go with the fact that the ordinance is going to be enforced and they need to remove the animals.
If Sally already talked to her and she told her that she needs to get rid of them and she's not gonna get rid of them, do we need to like move forward with a ticket? And then,
Well, what I would suggest is that if it's been said that that's not going to happen, then take the statement, for affidavit saying, this is the property, this is the person I talked to, I saw X amount of geese there, just lay out the facts, get that in an email to me, and all long form of complaint that they can serve with.
okay,
Okay.
so yeah, I can talk to you and I'll send him an email and then,
My opinion on the forbidden critter. Most noise are the ones that we should be attacking first.
Right.
There's a lot of animals that are in the city limit that don't make a sound, hardly make a smell. So the whole point of the ordinance was because the animals are bothering neighbors and whatnot.
Well,
That's why you can have chickens but no roosters.
right,
So
which totally
if
understand.
somebody happens to have a critter in this town that you can't tell it's there unless you go and do some investigating and find out that it's there, I'm not going to get others ruffled over that.
Well, I've heard there's one and I've never seen it, and I'm not gonna say anything until I do.
Well, I'm more worried about the ones that
Are causing a problem.
Right. That's the top of the line.
I don't even know who we're talking about, but I've had geese when I was a kid. They can be obnoxious.
They're kind of mean, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't care for geese either.
Oh, they're good.
You can eat.
Greasy.
Yeah, a little greasy, but they're, yeah. So,
Thank you, Todd.
thanks.
Also,
Can I ask again then, since we're talking about animals? I know that I asked before in casual conversation, but is there any way that we could have more than 8 non-roosters, 8 birds, chickens? I mean, 10 even. And I know that what you said, guys, last time was that you went with, called other cities and other ordinances and you went with that precedent, but in several meetings that I've come to in here with several different discussions, you guys made it quite clear that you peacocks, I'm not asking for prairie chickens, I don't know what all's here.
It's
All I wanna
nothing
know
other
is
than
if I had more than 8
I thought they added
dogs.
ducks, sorry. I guess I'm all messed up.
No, any outside animal is literally just like 8 chickens.
So you're just asking for more.
More chickens,
Yeah.
just more chickens. I don't want anything else. I just want more than 8 chickens.
Other than like inside and cats.
When do we just add
It's
that?
not something I'm gonna get in now.
Agenda?
It's not something that's gonna happen tomorrow. Be something that would be added. And as a person with chickens, if you decide you want 8 and you go buy 8, 3 are gonna die. That's just how it rolls. If you get them little,
Yeah.
and then you gotta bring them in. Constantly fluctuating. I mean, most of them are gonna live. Some will live 6, and then if your flock is older ones and then 2 younger ones and then 2 younger ones, you're constantly, I mean, or 4 and 2, but I don't know. I just would like to reconsider more than 8.
My turn?
Thoughts? Do you guys want me to add that to the
So send you
agenda?
the-
Or is that just we're gonna move on?
I don't see a problem with it. I don't want to invest in a new ordinance though.
I don't either.
Could that be something to do, like a little permit? And just,
If we could get around it that way, I would be more in favor of that.
you know, if they could just put in it for permit and we just,
Is there a way to do that, Todd? Kind of get around not doing a whole other ordinance? Just putting in a permit is the discussion for 10 chickens rather than 8.
Well, I mean, I'll say again, I didn't hear a damn thing anybody
Okay,
said.
Todd, I'll sum it up real quick for you. The limit is 8 chickens. If somebody wants to get 10 or 12, can we do a special permit rather than rewrite the ordinance? That way we can do a special permit for somebody who has already proven that they take care of them. They don't have roosters, blah, blah, blah. Can we offer a special permit for certain people?
Not in the ordinance, no. If the ordinance, yeah, the ordinance says 8, that's how many you can have.
Well, if we wrote into the ordinance that, by special request, then, you know, others can be considered.
Does it say that?
You're right in the ordinance.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
The idea would be
Yeah, I
probably, if
think
you really
we
wanted to
would.
get, you know.
That'd
be
be
able
more
to have
kind
some
of for
wiggle room, you go out
after
and
they've
read
had them a
the
while, they can then
up to
apply
10,
to
and
have
That's what
or
I-
if
more.
That's what I was gonna say.
whoever says,
Do we need to put space allowing or anything like that, or just?
you know,
Well,
But the
it's
mayor
based on
said
these
back-
ordinance.
Oh,
I have no
It has
idea.
the,
Yeah.
But that's about the
has
only
the
way.
fence requirements, the spacing, the application, all of it.
Okay.
So, conversation. Basically, we would have to redo the ordinance.
And how much will that cost?
A lot of eggs. So we would have to redo the ordinance in order for that to be permitted?
Yeah, if it's, right now it says 8, I haven't looked at yours, but it says the number 8 right now, that's.
Okay. Kevin?
One question, this letter that's gonna go out, besides the 2 geese, is it gonna include the guinea and the peacocks also, and the roosters that they have?
Well, all those should be encompassed under the fact that they're not hen chickens.
Well, when I was there yesterday, all I seen was
That's
Kids
what they have
and-
in the barn, in the garage.
It sure wouldn't hurt to just make the point that,
anything.
give them a copy
Any
of the
other
ordinance that
calls?
says
Do
they
you have
shouldn't.
a
Take that
picture,
paragraph out.
a video?
Oh, I can get that any day.
Yeah, cause I mean,
You know, the
if it's
ordinance
the
says-
hide and seek game, like we're never gonna win.
Well, but the thing is they just need to be told, "Eat chickens," and that's it. Guys, you know, they played this game with Dolly where they go, "Oh, well, we got rid of all of them. Oh, we did this, oh, we did that." And, you know, one time they did lose them to the fox that was out there. But 2 days later, she had it all restocked.
If you could include the copy of the ordinance, that section,
Will do.
maybe highlight the part that says only 8 chickens.
Oh, non-compliant.
No roosters, no
Yeah,
peacocks.
yeah.
No other fowls other than chickens.
It states it in here.
And the only reason this has come to such a big blow up is because somebody waffled on this issue for several years, and it's allowed it to go on like this.
Well, I'm not sure who you're referring to, but the council has never waffled on their stance.
I wasn't talking about the council, and only needs one other person.
I was just clarifying for,
Yes.
For the record,
Record, you haven't seen it.
Let's do it, Annie.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we did get to, oh no, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, so
You can skip ahead.
end of the good news I need to start with. That's what I'm doing. So, it's all good news. It's just mixed with some not so good news. So, so the end of our fundraising campaign, we came out with $25,456, and I just picked up another 200. So we're at $25,656. So we blew the $15,000 out of the water. So you owe us a check.
yeah.
I mean, obviously some of that came after the deadline, but we definitely hit 15,000 before the deadline, which is very exciting because that was kind of a shock to actually not just hit our goal, but go that far over it. So very exciting. Good news. 41,000 is a good place to start. From here, we start doing lots of research into grants. So it is a slower process, but we are making behind the scenes movement forward. It's frustrating, I know, because it would, you know, you just want to spend the money, but I would like to double or triple the money and then spend the money. Go ahead.
What's the ultimate goal? Is there some projects or something that?
Have you seen the plans? Oh, if you go to the, I always call it the Tressler building, but the green building with the, there's plans in the window right now. Yeah, so that we have those. I'm trying to build up a website actually this month so you can get to that stuff online and blow it up real big and get real close and see everything. So I'm working on a website right now, so hopefully that'll get us a little more, you know, static information. Facebook's
Price tag on that project then?
no, we did not get a price estimate. That was another $5,000 to get. So we because prices are changing so much, like in the last year with COVID, it would have been useless by the time we actually went to go do it. So we're waiting until we're going for particular grants to get price estimates done at the same time. So they're more accurate, obviously. So no, I don't have a price tag. I wish I did. It'll be a longer road, but our first goal is playground equipment, and I'm hoping I can also bring in bathroom and the pavilion roof, which we were going to do over the ice skating rink, but that'll be resurfacing too. So it depends on cost and what grants are actually available to us. So I wish I had a straightforward answer, but I don't. We should know more by this next meeting. I'm doing a lot of research on grants right now, and then we'll pick a path and go for it. Speaking of grants, so I finally got some proposals or bids for the bandstand in the park. The bad news is that they're both still over. So we kind of have to make some decisions on what to do, because I don't think I can keep saying no to every single proposal that's higher than we got, because everybody's going to be over now, which is frustrating. So, so just as a recap, we were awarded just about 54,000 from the Heritage Trust Fund grant. We are paying 20% of that, so we've got about 10,800 saved up, ready to go for this bandstand. And then the Heritage Trust Fund grant is covering the 80%, which is about $43,000. We spent of that $7,000 on our architect already. So I think we have about $47,000 out of the grant to spend on the construction work. The first proposal I got was from Riley Construction, which I think is based actually in Wamego. And the guy's name is Brian Thompson. He actually broke down the entire estimate for me this last week into parts so that we could, if we needed to, try to self-fulfill some of it. So the base estimate total is what he was trying to get underneath our project amount. And then they have these other parts, the demo scope, existing conditions work, and then the painting. And he's pulled out, like, so we could try to self-fulfill that ourselves. Actually, and he did get the price down to 68,000. So, sorry, I said 75, I think, on something, but it's actually 68, so he is lower. Official bid here. So, base estimate is 46, which actually does fit still inside the grant. If we tried to get all of it done with this company, it's going to be 68,000. He was really responsive. He's talked to me several times on the phone. I felt like he was really interested in doing this project. So Brian Thompson of Riley Construction. And then the other bid is from Dargill Clark Builders, who's in Austin. And he's quoted $69,780. He just got this to me today, so I did call him back and see if we could break up the project in any way, and he did mention, the painting, separated out, the demo wouldn't have a huge effect on the budget, but we could do that ourselves to help minimize. And the paint is such an issue because it's historical and it's wood. So the painters all have an extremely expensive lead protocol they have to follow, and they have to literally pick up every single piece of paint that gets scraped off, and they can't sandblast it or power wash it off in any way. So they have to do it all by hand, and it takes longer, but it's non-damaging basically. If we do that on our own, we can get volunteers, and we don't get fined $100,000 if we do it. So that's one of the things that they suggested taking out. On the other side of it, I did email the trust fund grant to ask about whether we could up our budget at all, and she did say that we could apply to get 15% of, I think, the total. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. Which I added up to be about $8,000. So we can try to get more money out of the grant fund if they've got it. I can't guarantee that in any way. But that's an option to help kind of cover the difference. I do think that, like it shows in Riley's, the debris hauling and disposal and the carpentry demo, the demo they're talking about is removing the ramp. I do think that's something that we could probably have our own employees do, or get some people together to do. That would kind of help us on the cost end.
I agree.
I don't really want to do the painting, I'll be honest. Nobody really wants to volunteer that work.
I do.
But we can. I mean, we can totally get that organized and together. I just worry about timelines. That's the only thing that's a struggle. I will say that Riley Construction did break it all down for me and seemed very willing to work with us on trying to get it in our budget. And Dargill was also willing, but he seemed a little more hesitant, and he had lots of scenarios where that might go wrong, so. I honestly don't have a strong feeling towards either direction, which is bad because I would rather have one I really like more than the other. I will say on the invitation to bid, we're supposed to be choosing in our own judgment the lowest cost, the most qualified, responsible, and responsive bidder. But those are the only requirements we have to follow on choosing.
Who sets that requirement?
I set that requirement when I invited people to bid.
Because we haven't always.
We don't
held
know, yeah,
ourselves
and
to-
we don't have to choose the lowest price just because it's in there. We can always choose who we feel would do the best job too. So both of those qualities are in that. Just as an aside. I just have to explain it to the Heritage Trust Fund when we're done. Anyway, I'll let you guys look and
Carpentry demo, $4,000. What are they demoing? I thought they were gonna restore it, not demo anything.
the ramps being removed.
That should not cost.
That $4,000 is to remove the ramp?
I will say he's probably
I was there.
It's 17,000 to paint.
I know, but 4,000 to demo it, that's just crazy to take.
well, that's one thing we can totally take out of it and do it
Oh, yeah.
ourselves. So that's I am in favor of removing demo for sure.
City guys can do that in probably 3 or 4 hours.
Right. And he said, we could do that in 45 minutes or whatever. So, I think he was trying to say it'd be more worth it for us to pay them, but at the same time, I feel like we could take that out.
Well, we could probably get the 4-H club,
Yeah.
older kids to come in and do it as a community service.
Yeah. Well, the demo, I think adults only, obviously, but the paint, I think would be a nice
Well,
4-H or
I said
yeah.
older kids.
Yeah. Well, still with all that stuff, but there's a lot of, I think liability with that. The rest of it, I think,
I don't know, we did it up at the fairgrounds. Yeah, the older kids did it up at the fairgrounds.
one thing that kind of stuck me with dark.
Yeah.
So, and Riley doesn't give me anything like that. He hasn't done anything to that degree to me. I will say, which I understand it. Obviously, these guys get screwed sometimes. The way the grant works is that each portion of the project that is completed, we pay for it, and then we have to submit that we paid for it, and they refund us. So some of it's going to come out of the city before we all get the money back into the city. So just FYI, that's so not to scare anybody. Have you got any opinions off of that, Tim?
Well, all I'm doing is looking at 2 pieces of paper that have basically the same dollar amount.
I know.
Break it down.
I do too.
Is he gonna change his bid? Is he saying, forget the demo, we'll do that?
Base estimate, and these 3 extra items are the things that he suggested that we could take out in order to get it in the budget.
I'd like to see where we could get a crowd of people who donated, bring her and come down to the park, and we throw a bunch of tarps down, some shop backs, and we
Yeah.
clean up the paint ourselves and not spend $17,000 on it.
I mean, at least maybe you could get the lower parts, at least. You couldn't get the high parts.
So is this gonna be repainted then?
Yeah. Essentially, yeah, it'll be scraped and repainted. Yeah, but
And the decking, are they gonna remove the decking and put the decking that was on when it was originally built?
so it's like material basically. It's not
It better
necessarily.
be pretty damn close,
It's gonna be.
or I'm gonna complain.
You're gonna complain.
Well, I will tell
The
you
whole
this
point
quote
of
for the
historic restoration.
woods portion is like $10,000, and that's just fixing boards that are rotten. So I mean, it is a chunk of money. Yeah, they're not going to put anything that's not.
Well, my point is, if they're gonna take up the decking and put more down that is period specific or whatever, either way, we shouldn't have to strip the paint off wood that they're taking away.
Right, and that's what I kind of discussed was like, can't we just do the paint all of? And I realize that some of that wood's going to be exposed for a little bit, so it depends on weather and stuff, and we have to. But is there a way to just do it all at the end? I don't know. That's what I mean. Dargell made it sound like maybe we do some as we went, and I thought, I don't know about that. So
Something else that was kind of sticking out to me here. Let me find it.
Cause it'd be kind of pointless. Straight paint off boards they're gonna replace.
Yes,
It's gonna be a little waste of
Where?
time.
it is a waste of time. That's why we wouldn't do it that way for sure.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about the roofing, but it says thermal and moisture protection. I'm assuming that means he's going to insulate the roof, which is absurd to me.
I don't think so. I think it's, like,
Certain type of wood, isn't it?
I think that's just a charge title or whatever. That's
Okay.
for quoting. I think it all just falls under that category.
Well, I
But the roofing
would
is-
hope so.
Yeah,
Certainly wouldn't think we'd want to.
everything they're doing, and I can send you the documents. I mean, it's just according to the architectural documents we've had drawn
Okay.
up.
Okay.
So everything they do should fall right into that which an architect has put together for us. So it shouldn't be whatever they feel like fits. It's to spec. Like,
Well, I'm not trying to pick it apart. I just
No,
want to make it so
I-
you can come in under budget.
I would like you to pick it a little bit because I honestly, at this point, I can't. It's like a toss of a coin. I don't get a strong feeling about either. Other than maybe I had to hunt Dargel down a little more than I did the other guy. But
That's
that's
the first guy.
This roofing doesn't say either.
yeah. Brian Thompson did break it down for us.
Are we getting the historical metal roof or are we getting the non-historical shingles?
Doing it based on what they.
What did it originally have? Did it have metal in the beginning? Like the
And
fish
it
scale?
has like, not like, that was more solid and then it had like seams.
It overlaps, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to have metal on it. I thought it had.
That goes
support
back
over
to the
it.
construction documents we did 3-4 months ago.
It's 110.
Not to these guys.
Yeah, when was it built, Amy?
It's 111 this year.
Well, and I understand that part, but when you're nationally historic restoring something, do you historically restore it or do you not? Am I being too critical?
I think that should have been brought up a while back when we did the construction documents, but
Oh, I have mentioned it lots of times.
I guess not to
Yes.
me. I didn't.
The one question that to go along with, and I don't know the answer to this, Brett, but when you're restoring something, just because it was built this way 110 years, 111 years ago, in my mind, that doesn't mean you absolutely have to rebuild it the same way if you have found something that is more long living. You know, if they use this kind of material in this part of it, then 20 years down the road, they realize, man, that stuff rotted away right away. Well, then we don't want to go back and chase it with that. No, you don't agree?
I just have never been to anything historically restored that hasn't been put back original, I guess.
Oh, I'm trying to pull up the drawings right now, and apparently I didn't put them right.
In my mind, it's skimping,
Well, I'm not trying to
which
offer
is
a,
something I feel like we are
Which
well
part?
known.
oh, on the roof. What about the decking? What was the original decking? Do you know?
There's the tiny grove.
I thought that wasn't original. I thought that was
But
replaced.
from the pictures that you can zoom in and see, it does look like it was that, but more of maybe plank, thicker planks
Uh-huh.
than the thinner planks that unit width wise.
So probably the ship lamp, the wider.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna throw this out, and you're not gonna like it, but once you put it on the historical registry, it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, I've
I mean,
been
you can
told
do
that.
anything,
I've been told
including
that.
and
I
up to
just-
tearing it down. So I mean, it's not as strict as you would think it is, but what our architect has done is worried about all those materials for us. That's why we paid him the amount we did. I was unaware that there was a metal roof at any point, I guess.
I didn't realize that either.
I would have,
Have you ever seen the historical pictures?
yeah, I just
Do you
didn't
know what I'm
realize there was
talking
a
about,
metal roof.
Marsha?
Black and white. Well, do you guys have an opinion on the contractor? Because That's
Like
where
I said, just because I'm only basing it off of pieces of paper. I like this one. But that doesn't tell me that Dargel have pieces of paper that both basically have the same dollar amount.
well, and when
Have
you
you
ask,
got reference from other people that sat them?
I mean, not entirely. I'm just trying anybody I could get a hold of. I will say, Christy Johnson, our architect, did suggest Riley Construction. So she has worked with them. But I know Dargel's done work around Eskridge too, like Levancy and in town here. I mean, I feel like he's more local, but they both have pros and cons. But
Everybody does.
yeah, and that's the tough part about this.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of having to pay the $30,000 up front when we already know we have a guaranteed payment system in place. But that's just Dargel Clark's. But I get it; it's a security thing,
Like he's gonna be unsecure with the city of Eskridge.
Well, they can walk out sometimes. That's the sad part. We want money for it. Oh, here.
Has there been anything about the Eskridge Lumberyard and possibly using them or stipulating that a contract uses them, or is that?
Yeah, and I'll put it into our final contract. But both of them have said Dargel got his quotes off the lumberyard. I didn't say that. I should have said that up front. Dargel did get his quotes from our lumberyard. And then I mentioned it to Riley Construction, and he absolutely said, yeah, that would, take away all the transport costs. So we would definitely use local wood. But his quote's probably a little less specific because he's going off of what he knows in his area versus what's in our area, I guess. But I will say Dargel does work in Eskridge and does have an account up at the lumberyard, so he would and he mentioned it to me before I asked him about it at all.
Okay.
So both definitely, yes. Here's the documents, but they're really, really tiny.
I can't read that.
I can't read that either. I'm sorry.
You can borrow my bifocal.
It is a shingle. No, this would be a magnifying glass.
I have bifocal contacts in.
You could probably use double.
Can you forward that to me?
Absolutely.
I'd love to.
The one question I had on the bid that was broke out, I'm wondering if we could get a better price on if we needed a trailer I guess they do call it a trailer, but to dispose of the junk.
I was thinking the same thing, Justin, and I realized that is the lowest price that's on there.
It is, yeah. So try to leave to actually save money, but
Yeah.
So I think that's still under the demo scope. So if you did all that right, you'd be
I like one of those, but
saving the 45.
Is Mike on the phone?
No.
I wish he was. I almost called him.
Well, I'm pretty sure it could take probably 45 minutes to rip that ramp off, if that.
Well,
I mean, it shakes anyway,
I
and
agree.
I've almost done it myself.
Well, the only thing is you want to make sure wherever it is attached that you detach it correctly so you're not causing even more damage to the structure.
Correct, but that isn't gonna take much.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
so, and I'm on board with that. So I would love for the demo of the ramp to be done by us
And done tomorrow.
and take the price up. Yeah, we can do it whenever we want. So I don't
Yeah,
think
because
that's
it's
an
gonna be
issue.
nice in the 50s for the next 3 days.
Well, true.
And
The
you'll have to
other,
talk to the guys. I don't know their plans.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they
was-
could do it.
I don't literally mean
Right,
tomorrow.
okay.
I want that to be clear.
Yeah.
they do,
Me
both of
too.
them were really optimistic about starting really soon. They're down on projects right now. So I know Riley was empty this month. And the weather's been oddly nice. So other than a few. But, so I guess we have two decisions here. Which contractor and what are the Heritage Trust Fund, or will the city cover what's excess?
What is the excess?
Well, based on his broken down estimate, this would be everything that fits into the grant, as far as I know. So then that extra bit here,
Is the back second page?
yeah, I guess.
So the
That's just
existing
paint.
conditions and painting?
Yeah, because we decided demo would be ours anyway, regardless. So that extra would just be that 17 for paint.
Too bad they want to do it when the weather's not ideal. I think it'd be a whole lot easier to get a crowd of volunteers.
But I think March is right around the corner and they can do all this work in the next 2 months and we can get a nice day in March or April. I mean, depending on weather, we'll be coming out on the spring.
I'd like to think that we could get volunteers together to do the scraping and cleaning up of it.
The scraping scares me though.
You just have to collect it with a tarp and make sure it's not left behind. That's the biggest. And then you can't do it in high temperatures, I'm pretty sure.
You mean have
Todd.
people scrape?
Legally, is that a good idea for us to do?
Is what a good idea?
To get volunteers to go down and scrape lead paint off the bandstand.
I will say that they've been doing it for every 5 to 10 years for the past 100 years.
Is it
Just
in
to
fact
throw
lead?
that.
Beat it.
It's not, there's no factual thing that it's lead. We have scraped and painted it for 100 years.
Has anybody thought about taking some scrapings and having?
I probably would recommend that, but that just begs the question, if it's really lead paint, why isn't it being abated properly?
Do we know anybody that has one of them lead meters? I know it's just basically a gun that you point at the paint.
Does Lumberyard have one?
Justin, do you know, does the lumberyard have one of those meters that checks for lead paint?
How are you gonna get?
I know of,
As tall as that is,
yeah.
They've been
volunteers.
doing it for years.
But what if one falls off?
I've seen it
The
before.
4-H
It's
has
just,
been
it looks
painting
like a
for
thing that they check
ages,
inventory at
since the
Walmart
70s
with.
or earlier.
But
Like a little
But that question.
laser
It's
gun
insurance.
with a
Somebody falls
little
off the
keypad
ladder.
on top.
Insurance.
And they just held it up to my windowsill and pushed the button and it told if there was paint in it.
Well, or you can climb a ladder and paint if they can tear the ramp off. I mean, seriously.
When was the last
I wonder
time?
how hard it would be to get somebody.
4-H.
I think last time we looked into it, when we were talking about demolishing houses, I think it was like a $500 fee or something for them to come in and do that part of it also. I could be way
the
wrong on
ramp-
that,
Is
but
the city guys, they can,
I don't know. I wonder if there's a neighboring community that has one that we could just use for a little bit.
I can call Mike when he's back in and see if there's an option.
Maybe we can
You could
obtain one of the
always try and
meters.
submit a sample to KDHE. I
And
know
see.
I know they do that kind of testing.
Okay.
When I worked for the state,
That sounds like a great idea, Kevin, but I'm gonna guess what any legal entity is probably gonna say is, number one, for sure, how do we know the paint came from that structure? Number two, what if you just happen to pick it from the part that doesn't have lead? Cause she said it's been scraped and painted over and over and over, and maybe that spot was scraped clean, but that other spot still has paint from way back.
But
So they're
that's,
probably gonna wanna bring the meter in and check it on site. That's what they explained to me.
I don't
in the
know when's
past.
the last time.
it's been a while. It's been over 10 years. That's why it looks so terrible right now.
I know it's had to been before 5 years, 6 years.
it's probably
It hasn't been
been
touched in 3
however
to 4.
long, cause didn't Angel and Chad Turnbull paint it for their wedding? Or Tiffany? One of those two painted it for their wedding at the
Oh,
park.
gosh, I don't know. I know various groups have gotten together, not just 4-H, but other groups have gotten together and painted it over the years.
I'd sure like to see a way to save that $17,000.
And I'm okay with that. And that honestly, it doesn't matter if we prove there's lead on it or not. If we're paying a painter to do it, they have to follow lead protocol or they have a massive fine that they can get dealt. So they don't care if there is lead. It's 110. They are going to assume that the lead paint is there and that's it. So that's what I've run into with painters, and that's what I've got my own personal experience in my house, and that's why it looks so great right now. So, I'm okay trying to do it on our own too, but I guess we need to pick a person, and then we need to decide on. I mean, I like that he's broken it down, and he seems really willing to work with us on this one. Darnell seemed less enthusiastic about trying to break. That wouldn't really work out so well for them. Or he'd have to fix it, you know. So that was
Told you my opinion.
this one's breakdown. Brett, do you have an opinion? This is
There's a bear.
what?
Never. You just asked Brad if he has an opinion.
Oh, Hope the bear. Breast the bear.
The wheels are spinning.
Construction
I don't
documents.
really have any to either one
Preference.
except this one's cheaper.
It is a little bit. I didn't realize that he'd adjusted it. His initial was 75, so he went back in and actually went and reduced for us. So. I know if Justin's acting as mayor, does he get an opinion too?
Yes,
Our
he
own mayor
does.
would have an opinion.
He can still vote.
Justin, do you have a preference?
Yes, you can still.
No, I really don't. I'm like Tim, I like to see the stuff broken out like it is and maybe the opportunity to save on some of that.
I just got the general feeling that Riley Construction was more on par with working with us to get it done. So that's kind of my wait. And actually, I'll tell you, I was on the side of Dargel Clark. I was actually trying to get him to get a bid in so that we could do this, but he told me he'd have one in by last week, and I had to call him today to ask for it. So I do feel like I had to hunt him down a little bit,
It scares most people.
bidding for our stuff.
Just the gazebo itself.
Yeah.
He wasn't super
Let's
enthusiastic
see, it's
about it.
a historic thing that you want,
Yeah, it's work.
You know, if we're all this much on the fence, because I don't think any of us are really hard set one or the other, maybe you should look at some reviews or some other, what other people have to say about it and just do what you think.
I mean, do they have websites with?
Are you guys okay with me just choosing one?
I am. I mean,
Okay.
look what else, look where you've gotten us to this point.
Okay.
I don't think we've made many wrong decisions yet.
Well, I just don't want to do anything, on the back end and be like, well, okay. If you're okay with either one, I'll try to just look up reviews and maybe we'll throw it down that way.
I feel like we gave you the reins a long time ago, so.
Do what? Oh. Well, as long as I'm not screwing it up, right? I'll send you this one. Got it open. That's all I've got then. So that was a long conversation about.
Yes, it was.
I do have a question. Do we need a vote, Todd, for the check for the match? So like 7,500, right?
I thought we voted already.
I believe that.
I don't know if we actually had a vote, but we did say that we would do it. So if everyone's okay with me writing the check, it would be on the appropriations for next month.
I move to approve Stephanie to write the check.
I'll second it. Well,
Well,
Justin.
Justin seconded it because we're
Yeah.
supposed to be out of it.
Oh, yeah. Justin, it's up to you to second that,
Oh, okay, I'll second it, sure.
if you choose so.
You better. No, I'm just kidding. Joke.
And I do. Let's see, so moved and seconded, any further discussion? All in favor?
Tim says yes.
Tammy says.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I'm here. I'm sending stuff to Tim. Yes,
are we voting?
we are now. Go ahead. Throw it in there.
Sure, yes.
Oh, am I supposed to? Pass that motion.
Okay. Unanimous.
Okay.
An extension is a yes anyway. So.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. I forgot about that.
We need to have a motion on the actual, park bids, or do we just wait till Annie's chosen one of the two and
Yep.
just kind of apply it in, or, approve Dolly to write the check?
I have to come back to the next meeting. I mean, because I need to tell these people soon, or because it takes us another couple days at least to do a contract. So
I'm okay with letting Annie just make her decision after she does some research on reviews or something like that. Are you, Justin?
Yeah, do we just want to say approve a bid amount and make the amount more than either bid or both bids? And I don't know. I mean, just,
That's fine, that's fine. You can authorize that.
okay.
Then I move to approve the bid of up to 70,000 for the park.
Justin.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Favor Tim,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
passes. You have anything else, Annie, or?
No, I'm done. That's all of my news today. It's all good. Sort of.
Stevie?
I actually have one. I don't know. Bring it up. And it's not something I really need to do right now, but I'm gonna throw it at you. With all of the lake and the dock permit, basically how we're keeping those right now, as far as people paying, it's on an Excel spreadsheet. And as Todd knows, there's been a situation where they tried to go back and confirm some old payments on property that's in, I don't know. Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. So it's very, very difficult to track this stuff. It would honestly be nice if it could all go into my software. So it'd be the same as utility billing. What they could do is set up a separate billing. It's called billing and licenses, and it's just another module on the computer. Everything would go in there. They would get an automatic notice when it's coming up. Prices would be in there. And yeah, it'd just be a better way of keeping track. Because right now, like I said, and it's on an Excel spreadsheet. Normally in the past, what they've done is printed off that Excel spreadsheet and then written paid. It was just deposited as one big system. So it's very difficult to track. Anyways, it is a little bit expensive. The unit price itself for implementation is $2,000, but then the annual fee is only $450. So the other thing that it would do, so it would do all of the structures out at the lake. So I would think the lake could pick up a big portion of that. Mike said gas could pick up a portion of that because we also bill people with another software that he has anytime that we have to go in and like dig line or anything like that with the gas system on someone's property. And then some of the funny little things that we have, like rent at the caretaker's house, rent at the lake, at the lodge, CMB licenses, and dog tags, stuff like that. So they would basically all just be in the system rather than that we're now keeping them. So anyways, like I said, it's not something that we need to do because obviously all of the bills already went out for this year. They did say that if we did want to act on it this year, the $450 is prorated. So since it's $450 per year, they'll just subtract that. So if we buy it in the middle of the year, less than $450. So yeah, something to think about.
If we did, it would probably make sense to do it now though, while we're
Right.
getting
So
the year.
for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. If we were gonna act on it, yeah, it'd be nice to do it sooner rather than later. So at the end of the year, I wasn't scrambling to enter all the structures into the software.
What does it take to move all the data over from Excel into this?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in talking with him. He did say it would take, a little bit just to set everything up. But he said once you do, it's super easy. It's in there. And then he even said, because I gave him the lodge, for instance. I said, it goes up in price. And he said, well, the nice thing about this is I don't have to worry about keeping track of that number. So at 5 years, when the rent goes up, put it in there and it will just send her a notice. Here's your new rent amount. So I'm like, oh, that's handy.
Send her a notice how?
It sends out like a renewal. He said you can set it up to send a bill, a license, a permit. So basically you use any form that we can input into the system.
And it'll send her an email or it'll
No,
generate?
no,
Like a
it
city
will
bill?
generate a bill.
Like
I'll
a city bill
print
or
out.
something like that.
It'd be like a city bill. So I would, go in and manually do it, but it will notify me you have these to print. So
That's called billing and licenses.
yeah, so it's same software that I'm using. And you printed this off for everybody. This is kind of like an end of the day thing. Yeah, it's Summit. It's a software that just you buy another module on the
Do you
thing.
have to buy another module?
Yeah, for it to work.
And none of this will come out of the general fund?
I don't see why it would.
I mean, it's off of the lake, right?
Yeah, that's the big majority of it would be the lake. And then Mike said, you know, a good portion could come out of gas too, because he uses it. I mean, he uses a whole different software on his computer to bill people for gas stuff.
What you're saying is that you can use it instead of the software that he's using currently?
You just put all those things in there.
Everything would be under one
That would be lovely.
software. It'd be awesome. Because right now I just do one big mail merge on Excel and I send out doc fee notices. And then they send me a check and then I have to go on Excel and like, this person paid. So I don't know. It's just easier to have everything in one system.
Will it let you keep records after if you decide to close the system, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. That's the only concern I'd have after that.
Yeah. So yes, it would.
You know what the lake fund was that rolled over? How much we had at the end of the year?
This year or the whole fund?
I'd like to know that is it in what I have for general fund, how much rolled over?
Should be pretty close.
Cause we never spent any money on tearing down any houses, so.
So it was, I didn't get you guys
Extra money.
financial sheet that I did last time. I should have printed off another one. I could do that if you want me to. really
I
quickly.
don't need to know it right now. I was just wondering how much money we had left because I want to do some more purchasing for the camp.
I want to tear
Yeah.
some houses down.
We ended the year really
Were-
good
All parts of
on
Captain
everything.
Planet.
Fund, the general fund, the sales. Really did.
I think we
In
earned
the
more
year.
last
Take
year.
that,
We
2020.
did. We
But we
did.
also probably didn't spend as much with what was going on,
No.
so.
But-
Well, then we can just pay a painter for that bandstand. Okay, I'll let that go.
So yeah. And like I said, if you guys want to sit on it and think about
You
it,
just don't wanna volunteer.
I can
know you.
add it to the next agenda and we can move on.
I don't either.
Okay.
I did want to throw
I
it
gotta
out.
do time.
It really is. I am always the one like, what is the liability if someone falls off the ladder?
Yeah, I'd rather, you do it professional to do it, and then,
Would they scrape it and let us hire a different painter?
but I don't think so, though.
Well,
I'm not sure they're thrilled with that idea. They'd probably be grateful that we did the
because it'd be
work.
like, we can't technically scrape it, but like, we could get volunteers to paint it. So, and then we could see if they're painting.
Yeah.
Nah. He's commercial, he wouldn't do my house. Sorry, we're off topic.
Everybody's feelings then on the software. Do we want to table it? Do we want to?
I'm in.
Okay, I personally like the idea, but
I'm in
hear
favor.
anybody else's thoughts.
I'll move to go forward with it.
I'll second.
All right, then moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Tim?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
And me, yes.
Awesome.
Passes.
Thanks, guys. It'll be worth it. Promise.
I mean, we probably won't be. I don't own a house at the lake or anything.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
She can find her stuff faster every time I ask her.
Heck yeah.
All right. Anything else?
All right, yeah.
Sorry.
Astrom, do you want to move on or?
So, well, okay, so Shelly Weedow did call me. She unfortunately apologized. She said she wasn't able to make it because she shift. She's a nurse. So she wasn't able to make it, and I only talked to her, so I don't know about the others. But I told her I'd still add it, and that you guys have a letter, and
Did we get a letter?
it's up to you. Yeah, there is a letter in your packet.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Any thoughts?
What did we do last year?
500. You guys have done that for
I say nothing.
several years.
Did they have it last year? Where'd they have it?
Wheat House Garage.
And were it was all notified?
Yes,
And this,
I know that
do
they
we
did have a party out there and they gave out years. They had a pile of,
to all the seniors that were. Okay,
Well,
well, anyway,
I think the juniors got it too.
do we have an answer yet about Harveyville if they donate?
no, I don't,
Or are we still the
I
only
know it's
ones
there,
that do?
but I don't know.
I don't
I know
know.
some of the juniors got
Does Dover have a
I
city
know
council?
that,
Dover has the Federation that acts as a city council, but Harveyville for sure has a city council. And I don't
remember
think either of them
when-
donate.
came in last year, they said, I believe they hadn't thought of asking Harville and so I don't know. if they
I've
did,
heard
but I
that for
don't know
like
what.
7 years in a
Yeah.
row. The
Yeah.
same exact response for 7 years.
I can tell you how that happens. They have a list of who they ask money for, ask for money from, and then that list gets passed down. The next
Yeah,
class uses the same list.
and some people don't do it or take away from it or anything like that. Which is difficult.
When my
we
wife
got-
did it, the list grew like 4 times the size.
I
it
got
used to
yelled
be.
at for missing people for Fall Festival, I'll be honest, that I just completely forgot about.
Yeah.
But anyway, that aside,
Green Light falls under every. Animus people on up a faith group.
I mean, I feel like it's community support, so to me, it's not a bad thing. I don't know what your opinion is.
It was hard.
I'm just kind of in the camp of it's something we've always done, so.
We're the only ones that have always done.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, a lot of people give.
And the city of Harveyville does not such things as well.
But I almost got their own school system.
Nor does, no they don't. They're combined with Maple Hill and Paxico.
It's in Alma, isn't it?
What?
It's split into 3 towns.
But it's still in their town, isn't it?
No.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, and by town, I mean, we probably have 5 high school students that we're buying presents and gifts for every kid at Mission Valley that aren't even tax-paying citizens of the town. That's my stance on it.
you have an opinion?
It's my yearly stance, though.
I know, yeah, I know that. We've had this conversation.
And we were recommended before not to do donate like that from our, was it the accountant or who was it?
I think it might have been.
So really, the 3 of you are gonna decide it.
Glad Edwin don't have. Right? My son is a senior.
I didn't ask for donations when I was in school. I friends did it all.
But he could care less, because he won't go anyway.
I mean, I don't feel like our school gets the support that say like Topeka schools would get for stuff like this, and they have crazy stuff in town. I mean, because of the amount of financial support they get, you know. So I feel like, and I remember being a senior and being through Harveyville and went to every business and asked them face to face. So I feel like these kids do work for the money. So I'm not saying that they're not.
I can't imagine that they're not asked, because I know 2 of the people that's on this committee are in Harveyville.
I don't know.
That's
7
why
years.
I'm surprised.
7 years. And the Buffalo has never been asked. Not once.
Well, I can tell you right now why.
They don't want the
Because
money.
no,
Because you're
technically,
mean.
anything that represents alcohol, they can't ask. If it's associated with alcohol, they can't ask.
Oh,
We
that
write,
makes sense.
the liquor store in Alma writes checks to the school in Alma all the time for donations, for yearbook, for sponsoring.
But this
for-
is after prom. It's
Yeah.
a drug-free environment they're trying to promote.
Yearbooks.
They
Am
might
I
have
sure
a
that that's
specific-
what happens?
When they're trying.
I don't know. I'm just being negative. Shut me up.
Tim.
Shut my mouth. Vote. Hurt. Like, get off the
Take
conversation.
it for being obnoxious.
Because it just makes me look like an ass. But I have a point.
No,
Whether
you do have a point. I mean,
I'm gonna move to donate the 500 we do each year.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Tim?
I know.
I'm still having a hard time deciding. I'm gonna go with no because I think we should go with a lower amount.
Okay. And Annie?
Yes.
Okay, myself, yes. Motion fails for non-majority and nobody to break a tie. And I don't think Dolly would anyway. But motion fails. So entertain another motion or
Try again.
revisit or whatever you guys want to do.
I think I got a minute or something in action. So what would you
I'll
do?
go for half that.
Half, 250, fine. I move to donate $250 to the Mission Valley After Prom.
Again, I guess. Any further discussion?
Did
All
you?
right, Tim,
Yes.
Annie,
Yeah.
Brett,
In the spirit of working together. Yes.
Unity.
Wow.
Look, Democrats and Republicans can. No, I'm just kidding.
oh.
Only in Eskers it seems.
Only in Eston.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody's political affiliation is at this table. I mean, I could probably guess, but I'm not gonna.
I'm
We're
a
not gonna go
Democrat.
down
Just
that
ask
road.
Brett.
Okay, we're on our last thing, right?
yeah, city structure permit.
Did Mike look at that?
Like Mitchell's.
He actually came in at the very end of the day when she turned it on. It's on skids. So it's movable. It's 39 feet from the alley. I mean, there's no.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Tim, yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. Mayor, council concerns or comments? Anybody have either?
Houses, letters, how are they going?
I sent a letter out to, let's see,
Next to Charlie Willard? Okay.
that one out. I haven't heard from her. No big.
Were we able to contact the lady where Kalka last lived, has the door open?
No.
That's still Mrs. Wyrick, or is that somebody else?
No.
It's
Yeah,
someone
it's
else.
Is it?
She?
No, it's somebody else, but that's where Wyrick's
I
lives.
don't know how to get her.
Not the.
Has a different last name. Is it
Oh,
like?
I don't know. Maybe she did. They.
I don't even know who it is.
I said,
It's like a-
My stepdaughter, she rented there before Polka did, and I think she might know how to get in touch with her.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he'll
So
go.
that's gonna.
I'm gonna message her and see if I can get a number.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
she would at least know the person's name and stuff.
I
Oh, I
have
forgot
yet
that she was there. Duh, I
to
didn't
hear
even
back
think about
from the
that.
guy with the RV. Like I said, he was supposed to come to you guys. He received a letter. So as far as what you guys want to do, I mean, from here on out, he got a letter. He acknowledged that he has an RV and he was going to come talk to you guys about signing some agreement to let him live there temporarily. Although he couldn't come up with a reason why. I don't,
And what's the property?
the one up,
Up straight from me.
he's renting from,
Yeah.
Oh,
They're sort of
next
Fleischner's.
Lesnar. I thought they were gone.
are they?
The Diaz house?
Uh-huh. Diane's house.
The one, you talking about the one that was in front of the house?
They moved it to the
It's in
back, didn't
backyard
they?
now.
No, they had two. They had one in the back and one in the front. Believe me, I'm there twice a week, or once a week. The one in the front's gone. The one in the back wasn't.
Is someone living in it? The one in the back?
tomorrow,
Was this my
but
aunt's old house?
I
Maybe he took
think,
care of it.
Was this my aunt's old house, the junk one?
The little one is where your aunt lived, right? The
Yeah,
little
but
one?
she
The one
owned the
behind
junk
it.
one behind it.
Yeah.
too.
Okay, yeah, the one behind it is the one we're talking
And
about.
they had an RV there.
But they were
They had
like,
two.
It had literally over the front sidewalk with the
I
generator.
mean, walked by one day with the one there. God, are they moving?
I
it?
noticed
That's
last
terrible.
week the one out front was gone. I'll check it tomorrow. I'll
And
be there
then-
tomorrow.
so the other one, update on the one that has not had water forever. She did come up, pay a deposit, got her name on the bill. However, they went up there to turn it on, the meter just spins, so I turned it back off, and that's been a month.
And she's not living there right now.
Is she
She's
not?
now renting Bakerstrom's house.
I did not know that.
Is there water on there?
Yeah, because that was in Fran's name. Okay. Interesting. So,
So how long until we-
Don't live there?
Can get a bid on any of these houses.
I'll have to go through that list that Todd. So Todd, the process of tearing down houses, they get a letter, and then do they have to receive something from you after they receive like a warning?
No, I mean, it's basically a written notice that they need to correct within a certain time, and if they don't, then that is part of the process. You have a first actual resolution order from the council saying, we're gonna, we really need to fix this, and here's the date when we'll hear your issue with it, and if they, show up and dispute it, then they do whatever. If not, you guys do it within 10 days, whatever.
So once I send them out a letter, and then if I don't hear back from them, can I just update those resolutions to fit the description of the property? So you don't have to?
Yeah, you would need to update, I don't need to do that. You can.
Okay,
The,
the order, like the resolution orders,
the order, the name of the party, obviously, the address, keep specific in those.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean by update.
Maybe. I might,
Okay,
since I bought all of it around it. Except for the green trailer house. But this one is coming up at the auction this summer.
really?
Huge lot. Yeah, it should be.
Good.
Right
Good
here.
speed.
So there you go.
Well, what about the one beside you?
City
It's
Hall
still on the
and-
line across from.
Was all excited and Carmen.
I just, and it's got holes. I mean,
bet
there's
she might
open.
sell it now.
I really thought he was gonna fix
I knew it
it.
was looking so much better and stripped out and everything.
Got mowed one.
There used to be.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. that
Who owns that one?
Is
now?
that one that's got a letter on it?
Joe Fortune was the name of the guy that was redoing it.
Is there a letter on that
Okay, my
one?
neighbor Jesse has
Hmm, 'cause that one's been down for a while.
the lot to the south where Cassie had her garden,
Mhm. Yeah, there was a house there and then there was another house next to it.
and that was Smith's.
Okay.
And I think I might buy that lot from Jesse before he sells his house, which will be on the market in a month maybe, because he had to move out to Colby or something like that. And Kim, his girlfriend, was gonna go to K-State for vet school, so they're leaving that house.
That's too bad.
Yeah, those are.
How many bedrooms is
Right across the
that?
street
How
from
many
him.
bedrooms is it? How many bedrooms is that house?
I don't know. 3 plus a big basement, probably. Big basement. I move to adjourn.
Hold on. The other thing is now it's 2 months, so I want to know if our public officer has done anything.
No. She has not.
I want to hire one of the other applicants or advertise it again.
I think if to advertise it again if they withdrew their application.
They didn't withdraw their application. We hired her and she hasn't done anything in 2 months.
I thought they withdrew two. So,
2 of them withdrew the applications because of circumstances that were happening in the moment. Anyway, the thing is, like, I want to advertise or do something to get somebody else to be doing that position. So that we can
Be active with it,
yeah,
not just simply say, ha ha, we didn't hire the people that you guys wanted, which is what I feel happened.
are you interested in that?
Why did I know you?
Sally,
Why not? I mean,
she's busy. I'd vote for Sally. Let's do it.
it's not gonna be much more than what I'm doing now.
It won't in your pocket.
And yeah, I mean,
No, all
Justin, you
you
hear
have
what's
to
going
do
on?
is go and look, and I even write the letters.
Yeah, I do.
and do that on Tuesday too.
I'm down with this idea.
Give her an application so we can do it official.
Yeah, so we can get it going.
Well, Todd, do we
Does
need
she
another
need an
application?
application?
She's already an employee, so can't we just change her duties up?
I think we have to.
Are you at, I
Fine.
couldn't hear anything.
Okay, Sally Davis is our animal control officer. We're talking about
I think
also
he's
having her as our
listening through
public
that little
ordinance
tiny.
officer. One hasn't done anything in 2 months, so we need to replace that person with someone else. Sally is interested in doing that position as well. Can we just simply have Justin appoint her and then go with it?
Well, Justin doesn't have the power to appoint anybody, even vice president of the council.
The council can vote to hire her though, right?
Authority to run the meetings when the mayor's absent. The mayor still has to. So,
Does it have to be appointed since she's already an employee?
Can we vote on it right now and make her that with the 4 of us?
the position is public officer, right?
Correct.
Well, I think that's in the code as being a position that's typically appointed by the mayor
Oh,
and approved by the council. Kind of like city attorney, city clerk, officer position.
Okay, well, we'll just tell the mayor to appoint her.
She will.
Yeah, you,
Do we need to vote to terminate the other one? Because
well, I think the first thing should be to remove the prior officer. Yeah,
Okay.
so
that would be fair thing.
So do you need a motion on that? Or can that just be done when you hire a new one?
And the passage of that terminate the position that exists.
Terminated
The
effective
person
today.
who is in
Yeah.
the,
I didn't hear. Does you need a motion to do that?
I couldn't hear you either.
Did you say yes, we do need a motion to terminate?
yes, you would need a motion to terminate the employee, the officer from the position.
Brett, do you want to do this or?
I'll move to terminate
Then I will
the
second.
public officer position to be filled and appointed by Sally at the mayor's.
No, don't make it illegal. You gotta just stick with the first stuff.
terminate the employee, not the position, because then we'd be, without it.
And I seconded the motion.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, Tim,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
I'll just abstain, so, motion passed. Any other council concerns, comments?
Are we or are we not doing the executive session?
We're not.
No, we struck that, sorry. Had you been on here in time?
Dolly called, said she didn't have any information. She said she's been hammering multiple people at Department of Aging and just haven't figured out who to talk to try to see about getting the existing balance forgiven. So that's the report I got, but
So what about the Aaron Seawall? Are we going with him and I mean, we've never.
Well, they don't know yet. I don't think it's like the same.
And
as it
does
was
he
the
know
last
his
meeting.
position has been in question?
We can talk, I've urged people to talk about that in executive session.
Executive session.
If you want to discuss that executive session, we can. It's just that you don't have anything to add right now.
Well, then I don't see the point of an exec session.
Nope.
I'll move to adjourn.
It's already been moved.
Second.
All right.
Those two.
And finally seconded for adjourning the meeting.
Yes.
All in favor?
Tim says yes.
Goodbye.
Nice not hearing you guys.
Thanks, Todd. Hey again, Todd.
Easiest money you ever made. Not hearing.
Probably not.
Bye, Dad.
Yes, sorry.
I bet when he shows up and the other person isn't there and he sends a bill, that's easy money.
And
What is he making there now? 275? No,
Too much.
too much.
okay, I
I
didn't
wish I
bring
could
it up,
drive it.
but it used to be the animal control and those